Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves UGB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. It's the 5th of September today and happy 5th of September, happy back to school for most of us. I think a lot of people are going back next week, but I'm sure many of the teachers have already been in. We've been in since Wednesday. We had Year 7 and Year 12 on Friday, which was good. There's still a few glitches with the timetable, so I'm not 100% sure exactly who I'm seeing on Monday, but it will be a surprise and it will be a good surprise, I'm sure. So keep me on my toes. If anybody happened to go to Morton's show on Saturday, then I hope you had a really good day. I used to be quite heavily involved in Morton's show when I lived back in the Cotswolds, so if anybody did go to Morton's show, then just leave a comment and let me know how it went. I don't always get back this time or these times for it, depends when it falls. Right, I have got so much to show you, so much to show you. I'm going to start off showing you my Stitchy kindness. I've been the recipient of so much Stitchy kindness this week and it's been really lovely. It's made my days every day as it's happened. I've got lots more of the floss trades or the floss drop trades to show you. I have got 3 new starts, 3 or 4? 3 new starts, 2 of which were planned, 1 of which was just on a whim, and some work on my Sampler September project, although I think the proper term is the September Sampler Soiree. If I've said that wrong, I'll put the hashtag down below and I'll tell you why there's a difference when we get to it. And I have got loads of haul, loads. A viewer pointed out to me last week that a first anniversary is paper, and so I am going with that. Paper, charts, everywhere. Right, I'm going to start off with my Stitchy kindness. So I swapped some floss cards with Yasmin's Made with Love, and I've spoken to her about her on her Instagram on here before. She does a lot of Barbara Anna, and I sent her my Quaker Samplings chart, which is the chart that made this big drum, and she very kindly sent me back some of her floss cards and some of her makes, some of the things that she'd made. She sent me 2 things. The first thing you can see just sat up here is my very own, on an easel, my very own YouTube stitch, which I'm going to leave just up there. Oops, I had it balanced. Yeah, there we go. And then she sent me this that she'd made. Now if you follow me on Instagram you will have seen this. I just need to get it to hang. So it's a hanging witch, but underneath is a beautiful pillow that she stitched. Now I think I'm right in saying it's a tiny modernist design. I think I'm right in saying. And if I can find the link for the chart, I will put it down below. But yeah, she made that for me. It's all finished off kind of spookily on the edges, some plaid on the back, and with just the witch sitting on the pillow. How gorgeous is that? I can't wait to display that at Halloween. I nearly said Easter. Why would I put it up at Easter? I'm going to pop it just in that bag there, because I'm hoping for better times this week, because if you watched last week's episode, literally everything landed on the floor, and when I was watching it back I saw myself go to hold something and then my hands just didn't grab and things just fell on the floor. So I'm hoping that I've got better control of my extremities today. I'm not promising, but I'm hoping. And then another lovely stitcher called Lisa messaged me, and she said that she'd been at a, what do they call them? What did she call it? An EGA chapter garage sale. And she said she'd seen this chart and it made her think of me. And it's this one. It's the bit of fluff, Historical Sampler Company multiplication chart. And I'd never seen that before. So she grabbed it for me and she posted it to me, which I was so pleased about. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to do it. I like it in the red. I like it in the red. If you see my hands today, you just have to forgive them. I've done 2 things today which have not helped my hands. The first one is I have started my pickled onion preparations. So I love doing pickled onions. I do the vinegar, the pickling spices, and then instead of the sugar I put maple syrup in mine when I'm warming the vinegar and the spices through, and they taste absolutely gorgeous. So this year, instead of messing around, I just went straight for it and bought like a 10-kilo bag of pickling onions. But I don't know what it is I pour hot water over them to loosen the skins, and it always makes my tips of my fingers go a little bit brown and my nails just a little bit discoloured as well. It comes off, but it always does it. And I've just had to have some very stern words with the printer as well. Very stern words with the printer, and I think I may have come off worst. So whilst there's no ink actually transferring to anything, so don't worry about the stitching, there might be the odd little mark from our encounter. And my last piece of stitchy kindness is my unicorn. Now, thank you to those people who had organised the hashtag of the common thread stitcher. I put up that this chart was my unicorn and that I would love to stitch it. And a very kind stitcher in the States said that she would lend me her copy. And it arrived on Friday. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to start this. I just want to make sure I've got the perfect fabric. So yeah, the absolute perfect fabric. And I was going to go ahead and order the called for colours, but I'm just conscious of the fact that this chart is now from a good few years ago. Has it got a date on it? It's Loose Feathers number 11, so it is going back. No, I can't see a date on it. And I just wonder whether the colours are going to be the colours that I think they're going to be, or whether I'd be better just to pick my own based on the front cover. I think I've got a brick colour sorted, and I think I've got the roof colour sorted, so other than that there's not much else to go with, is there? So I might just pick colours that suit the front or suit the fabric that I want to use when I find it. I've got an idea. I might try and dye a piece. So yeah, I'm obviously not going to say who has lent it to me. We've just agreed to say kind stitchy friend in the States. So as soon as I've stitched that, that will be going back across the pond to its owner, and I'm so grateful, so thank you. Let's put that there. Right, I'm going to show you my floss drop trades now. I've had quite a few come in this week. If I've contacted you about trading with me, then it's all in hand. It's all in hand. I've got them. I've got my new boxes of cards. The ones that are staying in the UK, they'll be sent out straight away. The American ones I'm going to do sort of in batches over the next couple of weeks, so just because the postage for that's just a little bit more expensive, so I'm just going to do it in batches. So if I've traded addresses with you to do the floss drop trade, you will be getting them just as soon as they're with you. One thing I noticed actually about receiving cards from the States is that some people seem to be paying about $4 postage, and I've had a couple that have paid $16 postage. So just when you're going into your post offices or wherever you're posting stuff from, just make sure you're getting the best deal, because there's quite a big difference. And another tip maybe, as I know, you know, if you've said to a stitcher you're going to swap 20 cards or 25 cards, it might be worth just leaving the envelope open until it's been weighed, because I know a lot of our postage, particularly to the States, has got quite small weight margins on it. So I'm sure even if you've promised 25 and you get to the post office and actually it gets you into the next post bracket down, if you take 2 out, I'm sure nobody's going to complain about that. So yeah, thank you to those people who've posted them to me, and I'm going to show you the ones I've got. I'm hoping I've kept them all in their piles with the respective things that they came with. So the first ones here came with a lovely little card, and this lady has got the most beautiful writing. I'm just gonna flash it there. It's the most beautiful writing. It's another Michelle Summers, and I can't remember what her name is on Instagram, but those were her cards there. This beautiful beautiful dress and hat, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's a dress and a hat. It's a bit dark where I'm looking, so I think it's a dress and a hat. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And she also very kindly sent Finesse some little Halloween stickers. So she'll be well up over those. She'll have to wrestle me for them, but she'll be well happy with those. Thank you so much, Michelle, for thinking of Ness. Right, I'm going to try and keep these in piles because I need to make sure that... Did you hear that? Right, that's okay, that can stay. That's the only thing that's hitting the floor. And then I had a nice card from Ray, and she sent these ones through. And it says on the front, strong women, may we know them, may we raise them, and may we be them. Well, if there's any consolation, I'm definitely raising one. She's either going to be the CEO of a company or the leader of a prison gang. And I'm not entirely sure which way it's going to go. So, yeah. This is the back. And it actually tells you on the back that this is Helen Dorman Burgett, who was her grandmother, who was Ray's grandmother. And I've noticed as well, a lot of stitchers put an extra hole in theirs for just those little bits of floss. You know, when you have used a thread and you haven't quite used it all, but you want to save it. A lot of people put a little extra hole in their cards, and that's what they use that for, which I think is a really great idea. So I had those ones. I had these ones through from a lady called Caroline, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about Caroline next week. She's got a few things that you might be interested in, so remember that name, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about her next week. So there we go, there's those ones. Then I had these lovely ones from Ali in Oxford. You might have seen these ones. I've seen these ones on the hashtag. Don't forget to use the hashtag the Great Floss Drop Trade if you want to let people know that you want to trade. And so there they are. And she sent me a lovely card as well. It's written on the back, but yeah, she sent me a lovely card. And then who else did I have? I had some from Margaret Yoder, who won the Fella book. So she very kindly sent me some of those through, and that was her card. So there they are. Ah, that's where that was. There we go. Let me finish this one first and I'll come back to that. I've just dropped something else. They're getting old, making those noises, looking to see whether there's anything else that needs doing while you're down there. So, yeah, they were Margaret Yoder's, and there's her information there. And she sent me a lovely card, and she sent me a lovely DMC colorist, I never know which way around it is, 4520, which is a really nice Christmassy one. And she also sent me some stickers as well, or maybe Ness. So there's those. And those first cards that I showed you, one of the first cards that I showed you, that is Michelle's information there. It got separated. Stitching by the Moon. Stitching by the Moon. There we go. Right. Done those ones, done those ones. These ones. So, These ones came from Deb at Knit a Stitch, who is in Surfers Paradise in Queensland, Australia. Deb, yours have gone out, but they went in with Karen and Bren's pack from Fox and Rabbit Designs, because they said they distribute any Aussie ones for me, so you'll be getting yours soon from them. Now, I just love the look on this woman's face. I sympathise with her, I really do. She almost looks like she's just sat down and gone, oh. Yeah. And after a busy summer with a small child, I know exactly how she feels. It was almost a relief to go back to work. And there they are. And then she sent me some stickers as well, or maybe Ness. So these ones are Aussie stickers. Fab. And then last but not least, these ones came from Sharon. She sent me a lovely card. Sharon, just if you're wondering, I had 2 of those in my pack, so you weren't going mad. You probably did right enough to send to everybody, but you just sent me 2 of them. And this is her card. So Sharon is Nana McStuffins. So any of the, well, I'm sure Stitchers worldwide will know Sharon, but certainly in the UK, she's a great supporter of UK stitching and stitching in general. She does some fantastic work. And then that was her design. And she used a heart-shaped punch to punch her tops and bottoms. Let me get them to, let me show you. Not quite lining up. There we go. Beautiful. And so that is all of my trades, which I've started to keep them all together, so I know where they all are once I need them. So these are all the ones that I've received so far, and so I'll be adding those to them, and you'll be able to see when I do my whips that I actually I've started to use them. My goodness, I've been waffling on and waffling on, and you haven't shown you any stitching. I am going to show you one more thing before I show you my stitching. Another drum, not a drum, spool. Another spool, a black spool. And I just wanted to show you this because I know lots of people are interested in spools and want to get spools, but it can be pretty difficult. So this is a sort of a solution for you. It is straight. I can see the way I'm holding it up, it looks slightly wonky, but it is straight, I promise you. I actually made this spool. So I was in Home Bargains the other day and I found these pots. Now they're made of bamboo, and I think that they are like makeup brush pots, but this was £1.99. And then I ordered online for £4 a pack of 4 bamboo coasters. And then all I did was I glued 2 coasters to my pot, top and bottom, and I chose to paint mine, but actually it's quite nice unpainted. So if you wanted to do a spool but you hadn't been lucky either finding any on eBay or finding someone to make you one, that could be a possibility. You just need a pot and a couple of coasters, and for about £4 you can make yourself a spool. Now the reason I painted mine black is because I really liked April May June's finish of Christina Whilst Iris Snaps' last sampler. Now I know this won't fit on there, but I would like to do some kind of Halloween spool, so that's why I painted mine black and then scuffed it up and then waxed it. Somebody asked me what wax I use, and I said Fiddy's clear wax. It's not Fiddy's clear wax. You can use Fiddy's clear wax, I have used it before, but the one I've got at the moment is actually a clear wax that you can get in B&M, in amongst all the paints and things like that. So they do some waxes in there, and so I got one of those. So yeah, I just painted it, roughed it up a bit, and then waxed it. Right, let's get on to some stitching. So after all that, what have I actually been stitching? So I said that September was going to be Sampler September, and I was going to pick out a couple of samplers that I was going to stitch on, and it was also going to be a Pantini month. So I'm going to show you my start that I've made on my Pantini, and it's called Santa's Struggle. I'll just take that out because it's a bit glary. So there's Santa's Struggle, and it says not the easiest way to get in and out for some cookies. As you can see there, he's stuck in a chimney. And this is stitched on 32 count Belfast dark cobblestone is the called for. So I have used something slightly different. I have used one of the splash fabrics. So this is the darkest of the splash fabrics, which I believe is called Basalt Splash. So I've actually got a huge piece here. I think I've got a half yard here somewhere. Let me just fettle it. There we go. And so you can see I've stitched the chimney apart from the bit in between the bricks, and I'm just doing the snow, and I've done Santa's body. Now the reason Santa doesn't have a head is because the button, now if I can do this without dropping it, it will be a miracle, a Christmas miracle. The button is a really cute little Santa face. Now let me get it the best way round. There we go. And so the button then sits, see if I can hold it in place. The button then sits on top of the body like that, and you can just see his hat there. So that's why it's really important with, especially with the Pantini ones, even if you change the fabric, is to keep the count the same, because they will then stay in proportion for the buttons. So if I'd chosen to stitch that on a 28 count, you would then find that the button would probably be a bit too small. So I stuck with the 32, but I just changed it so that it looks like a snowy scene rather than stitching all the individual snowflakes. So that I started on Friday, because I'm starting Pantinis on a Friday. Hopefully getting them finished over the weekend, but we'll see how many I get to. I forgot to mention last week, and I can't believe that I forgot to mention it in my plans, but obviously, just throwing that everywhere. Oh, it's not getting any better. Talk amongst yourselves. That was the freebie. I started the Cryptids stitch along from the Witchy Stitcher, and the first instalment, which is Mothman, has actually been released on Friday the 3rd, and it goes on this other side over here. So I've got to just bring the border along and then down, and then I can do Mothman. I'm not going to do the entire border to begin with. I think I'll just do it bit by bit as I go. Now, this is my fabric. It is the same piece of fabric that I showed you before. However, I did get the walnut dye out, and can you see all the kind of splotches and stains? I actually got the walnut dye in the spray bottle, and I just sprayed it over the top just to give it a little bit more depth. So I'm really happy with that fabric. It is a 32 count that I dyed myself, and these are the colours, because I have used some of my, oh no, I've got my own ones on this one, sorry. One of my other projects I've used some of the cards that I've been sent. So these are the colours, and obviously The one that's not on there is the black, because there is a massive amount of black and I have a cone for that. So that is the Cryptids one. I am just going to put this back in the bag because Mum's coming back up tomorrow to stay with us for a few weeks so that she can help take Ness to school, and obviously we love having her around anyway, but it just helps with getting Ness to school if the boat is running. So that's the Cryptids one. I have started a couple of other things. I decided that I was going to start this one, the Modern Folk Embroidery Little Birds Quaker Sampler. And I actually started this, having said in the last video, oh, I'll get around to starting this at some point. I actually started it while I was waiting for my video to upload last Saturday night. So literally, after I'd said, oh, I'll start it at some point, I started it probably within 20 minutes of actually saying I'll start it sometime. And I am stitching it on a piece of 36 count Winter Moon. And the thread that I am stitching with at the moment is Chili Pepper by Classic Colourworks, and I am absolutely loving the way this looks. So hopefully you can get a good idea. That's probably not a bad representation of the colour actually. So it ranges from an orange to a red, and yeah, that's pretty good. That's showing up really nicely. And I'm so happy with the colour. So happy with the colour. It looks fab. And I did mention that I might stitch the letters in a corresponding red or a slightly darker red. Maybe something like KN or something like that, but I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to see how it comes on. I'm going to do the top of it first. So that's that one. Let me just put this back. And I also made another start, which I was planning to do. And I started the Pumpkin Gardener by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. And this is the one where I have used some of my floss cards. And without finding the original card, I can't tell you exactly whose they are, but if you spot those as yours, then thank you. And I do know that I have put this little bit of ring bling on, and I know that came from Leslie, and I popped that on there because I thought the colours matched really nicely. So those are all the DMC, plus that random bit of DMC. And I am stitching the Pumpkin Gardener. We should show you what it looks like, shouldn't I? Here she is, on a piece of 30 count Dolphin by Weeks Dye Works, Old Weeks, which I've always told myself I didn't really like, but I'm really enjoying stitching on this one. And I'm sort of stitching this, and it's not really a stitch along, but finally a farm girl and I decided that we both like this chart and that we were both going to stitch it. Now she's stitching hers in her own thread choices and on a more neutral colour fabric, and it looks fab. So this is where I am. Let's see if I can get probably about there. Can't see me at all now, and I can't see myself. So there, probably about there. So you can see I've got one little foot in, and I've started working up towards her head, and I've done a bit of the vine. Now Dolphin's a funny colour. In some lights it looks greeny, in some lights it looks bluey, and in some lights it looks grey. But there she is. I just love that. I really love that. So if you've not found your way to Mama Witch Cross Stitch yet on Etsy, you need to run, don't walk. Run, don't walk there. They are fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. And my last one that I have been stitching is Matilda Isabella Creasy by Whilst Iris Naps. So these are the threads. There we go. And I've only done a little bit on this, but a little bit is better than nothing. Let me just find the cover photo just in case you haven't seen her in all her glory. There she is. Now I've been up in this corner here, and this is on a piece of 38 count fabric that I dyed myself. So since I last showed it to you, I've added in a couple of extra flowers and filled in some of those motifs. And she is gorgeous. So I mentioned that there are 2 hashtags for Sampler September. Now let me get this right. Sampler September can be any type of sampler. It can be a new, I nearly called it a new build then. It can be a sampler that a designer has designed, whereas Sampler September Soiree is more specifically for reproduction samplers. So this is a reproduction sampler, so it would come under the Soiree hashtag. But I think if you were to search Sampler September, you'll probably find everything that you need to see. Although a lot of people are tagging under both. So that is all my stitching this week, which I'm pretty pleased about, really. Pretty pleased about. Right, before I get into haul, I am going to show you the freebie, which is a Mama Witch cross stitch freebie, and I'm also going to show you 3 things that I've chosen from the autumn edition of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, which if you don't get, I highly recommend it. Before I started to get the subscription, I was a little bit unsure because I was like, I don't do Punch Needle, is there going to be enough in there for me? And there is plenty. There is so many gorgeous designs, and you can tell the quality of the designs because very often 6 months, 12 months down the line, the designer actually releases them as a paper chart. So for the subscription fee, even if you were to only buy 1 or 2 of those paper charts a year, you've pretty much covered your whole year's worth of subscription. So it's amazing. So my freebie is called Cast a Spell by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. Now, if you like her designs, you need to be in the Facebook group because she posts freebies into the Facebook group. There was definitely one there last month, and I think there was one there. This is the one for this month. I'm going to have to put a picture up here because for some reason my front cover hasn't printed out, and as I said, me and the printer had words, so that could be part of the story. But I'll just hold this back here. It's this gorgeous little toad or frog complete with witch's hat and broom. It's absolutely phenomenal. So gorgeous. I really want to stitch this one, and I think actually I am going to stitch him on some of this week's Dye Works Dolphin because I think he would look really nice on this. So that's the freebie. So you need to be on that one on Facebook, and you need to go and join the Mama Witch Cross Stitch group to get that. Right, here are the ones that I have chosen from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, the October edition. Could not pick out this one from Barbara Anna. It is called Autumn Squirrel, and it's phenomenal, as always. I also picked out this design called Harvest Time by the lady behind Sub Rosa. So if you've ever been onto Etsy and been to Sub Rosa Design, you will recognise her style, which is this beautiful basket of pumpkins, the cat, wrong rhyming word, house, nothing nothing that I dislike about this pattern at all. And then my last choice, and I need to go back and look at the others because I know that Janine from the Blue Flower has done one of these hearts for each season. So I need to go back and look at the other two more closely because I really like this one. I think I'll do it on slightly darker fabric, but I really like that one with the owl and the pumpkin. And at the bottom there, I don't know if you can see, a couple of little hedgehogs there. So Colette, there's a couple of little hedgehogs on this one. So those are my 3 picks. There are more cross stitch ones, there are other punch needle ones, but these are the 3 that I've printed off because I want to start them quite soon. Right. We are into haul now, and as I said, there's quite a bit. In my defence, and I quite often say this, but I know you guys don't mind. I don't have to defend myself to you. There's no judgment here. I did put an order into 123 Stitch quite a while ago. Actually, no, it wasn't that long ago, but it's here now, and it's a lot of charts that I've kind of been adding to my cart because they're ones that I haven't been able to find in the UK, and so I sort of add a couple in and then I wait until I've got, you know, a few, and then I'll just order them in one go. So since I'm talking about those, let's have a look at those. They are still in the envelope that they came in. So let's have a look and see what we've got here. Nobody needs to see the invoice. Nobody needs to see the invoice. Right. I picked up this one, not because it's not available in the UK. It is available in the UK. It's just nobody had it at the time I was wanting to place an order for it. So I just grabbed it as part of that, part of my order there. So I absolutely love that. Can't talk. Let's not bother. Let's not talk. This one I really liked. Annie B's Folk Art Sunflower Row. And again, you can get it in the UK, it's just nobody had it in stock when I wanted it. So I just added it to my order. I picked up this one by Artful Offerings, which is called Bluebird Garden. And I just love that kind of checkerboard look on the bluebird. There's quite a few actually of the Artful Offerings ones that are available in the States that don't seem to be available over here so readily. And I had them in more of them in my cart, but they went out of stock by the time I came to order. This one, which is called Faithful Friend by Scattered Seed Samplers, I saw Michelle McGraw, made by Michelle McGraw, had done this one, and because I used to have a black lab called Enzo, I loved it. So it's been in my cart for quite a while. So absolutely gorgeous. It's carrying a basket of blueberries or something similar to that. So if you haven't been watching Made by Michelle McGraw, you need to go and watch her. She is still doing this perfect year of smalls. It's amazing. This one, I've liked this one for ages. A Present to Esther Clark. Like that one for ages, and that's by the Scarlet House. And then the last one I got was the Scarlet House, Elizabeth Walsh's work. Now the reason that I picked this one, and I haven't read it to see whether there is any connection anywhere along the line, or whether this is just a made, you know, a design by Tanya, but at the bottom here, this border is very reminiscent of a Welsh blanket design. So I need to have a little read to see whether there is any connection there at all, or whether it's just a coincidence that it reminds me of a Welsh blanket. So that was my 123 Stitch haul. I've got a couple of charts from Etsy actually, by a shop called Little Fox Stitching, and they are both fractors. So I picked this one, which is called Vase with Flowers and Birds. And I just really liked the colours in this one. Really, really like them. And then the second one I picked was this one, which is called Fracture Falcons. Now, one of Ness's favourite birds is a peregrine falcon, and we get peregrines quite often around here. And so I picked it for that reason, with these two beautiful falcons. They're not quite the right colours for peregrines, but they're not far off. And I really liked the colours in that. So that's from a shop called Little Fox Stitching. And then I picked up this one from Stash Unload, which is one of the Jack's Sweet Shop ones, which is Olga's Tart, which I really liked. I went to Chris at the Nimble Thimble and I placed an order from her, and she is doing some Mill Hill kits, and what she's doing brilliantly is the series of them all together, and you buy them as a pack, because they can be really hard to find, or you can find one of them but not the other one, or however many. So I bought this one, which is all of the Arctic Circle Santas. So there's that one there with the polar bear, that one there with the reindeer, and this one with the sheep or the ram. So yeah, I've just got those as a set, and they were brilliantly priced, and so I was like, yep, having those. One thing I got some wool. I found a brilliant lady who was selling through one of the Facebook destashing sites, and she was doing wool packs. I never know whether it's wool felt or felted wool. It's not the cheap craft felt, it's the proper, really nice felt, wool felt. I'm sure it's wool felt. And she was doing 20 40 by 40 pieces in all these different colours for £20 posted. And I was like, I can't argue with that. And so they make brilliant backings for pillows. You can make strawberries out of them, you can make pumpkins out of them, you can make anything you want to out of them, and they are brilliant. So I've got some oranges, some reds, some greys, greens, quite a few blues, greys. They're also brilliant for the inside of needle books as well. So I think I've got enough there to keep me going. And then my last couple of things that I got from Peakside Needleworks. And I got some more classic Colourworks chili pepper, because I knew I would need some more for that sampler, the Modern Folk Embroidery sampler. And the last time that I said to you guys that I really like to colour for samplers, I went back to buy more of it and it all gone. So I was like, right, I'm making sure I've got my full stock that I need to begin with. So I've got 5 skeins there. I've got 1 skein in the bag. It says about needing 13 skeins of DMC, but that's for 2/2. I'm doing mine 1/2, and I might do a second colour, so I think I'll be okay for the bit that I need. And then I got some Picture This Plus. Heaven forbid. I got some Picture This Plus. So all 36 count. I got some vellum. Sorry, they did send it to me nicer than this, I have to say, and it's me that's kind of crumpled it up a bit. So I've got some Picture This Plus vellum, which is a very pale tan, almost with a grey to it. I think it's sort of quite a cool colour. And then I bought some pewter because I'd never had any before, and it looks totally different to the picture. I can understand how it's a very difficult colour to actually photograph. It's a very light grey, very light grey. And I got, so these are fat eighths, and I got some murky. I got a fat eighth of murky. Now, why, you ask, didn't you get a fat quarter of murky, 36 count murky, if you like it so much, Michelle? Well, let me tell you. Because when I put my order in for 123 Stitch, I must have taken leave of my senses, because I ordered a yard of Picture This Plus Murky in 36 count. Now when I ordered it, it was in stock. When they sent it out to me, or when they sent me the confirmation of order, they said it was now on back order. So it was supposed to be posted the end of August. It's now been shoved back to the 4th of October. So part of me was like, oh, should I just cancel it? And then part of me's like, no, I'm not going to cancel it. I'm going to see how things stand. If by the 4th of October it's been pushed back again, I'll see. But they haven't charged me for it, so it's not like they've charged me. So it's just on back order. So I'm going to leave it on back order, and fingers crossed I'll get some more Picture This Plus Murky. But I just wanted some, and I do find on 36 count a fat eighth is enough for most things. So there we go. That is everything that I have got to share with you. I am hoping to do a couple of special edition shows in September. The first one that I was going to show you was the samplers that I've stitched and that are framed and dotted around the place, and show you my antique samplers that I've got. I've got a few, not many, but I've got a few, and I'd like to share them with you. So I was going to do those together in one episode if you'd like to see them. And then my other episode I was planning to do was my whips, my sampler whips, and also having a look through the couple of sampler boxes that I've got with charts in and things that I've got kitted up as well. So if you'd like to see those, then do let me know. I've really enjoyed your company. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Sorry for the waffly bit at the beginning, but I had so many lovely things to show you, and I will see you next week. Stay classy, Stitchers.